How's it going, everyone? It's Bomberman Dan with Clan Dino Gaming, bringing you some professional StarCraft 2 replays. And today is a best-of-3 match between LiquidRet and StarTale's PartinG. We have LiquidRet spawning in the bottom right spawn of Ohana, and we have StarTale's PartinG, our Protoss player, spawning in the top left-hand spawn of Ohana. And the cool thing about this is the best-of-3 match between PartinG and LiquidRet at the Red Bull LAN in Dallas. So kind of that cool little invite-only LAN that Husky, Day9, DJ Wheat, and Rob Simpson are kind of holding. And so it's a kind of cool event to look at because you got all these cool players like Huck, Rhett, PartinG, of course, Squirtle, and quite a few other players that are really just a crowd pleaser, with like Thorzane and Sheth and whatnot. So I decided to snag some of those replays and cast them for you today. So we have Rhett pushing out with this nice Overlord speed up here, and we have PartinG coming in here with the Scout. PartinG has his pylon down here, so he could Forge Fast Expand on Ohana. You know, you have this small little ramp here that you have to defend, but if so, Rhett could decide to destroy this destructible debris and come in the backside. But this is still a pretty small area to cover, especially with the Forge Fast Expand, so it's not impossible by any means. A little probe harassment going on here. We see the spawning pool down there for Rhett. Nothing too out of the ordinary yet. We have these Overlords just being used as scouts very well, just spreading them out across the map, and definitely can hide them in places like on this high ground over here, and whatnot, and especially because there's like higher ground out near the edges of the map where you can move them so they don't die instantly. But we do have the Forge Fast Expand going down the Nexus first, so choosing to be a little greedy there, but I'm sure PartinG understands, and it looks like he might actually wall off a lot of this ramp completely, which would really prevent a lot of Ling drive-bys and whatnot. And it looks like Rhett does not have his hatch going down. It is going to be in the delayed from this pylon here. So PartinG deciding to try to get a little bit of an economic lead there, and we'll throw it on another pylon here at the third. So it looks like he's going to force Rhett to just attack him with Lings, and if he positions a couple cannons very nicely, he could be in a very nice position here. And it looks like Rhett is going to decide to take out this pylon first, and PartinG just keeping this probe here, trying to keep it in a position where he can use it when he needs to, that it isn't seen. And we have PartinG throw down his first gateway there, and there goes the hatchery down there for Rhett, and he will be cleaning up this pylon over here with those Lings. So Rhett getting that, and will Rhett decide to take another hatchery there because he was so delayed? We do see the drone go down. It might be a good decision here to try to take that hatchery, to try to get the economic lead back, and it looks like he will be going for that hatchery. Retaliating to PartinG's Forge Fast Expand, he will be throwing down two of his own. So a pretty standard retaliation there. Instead of putting a lot of pressure on, he's deciding to go for the economic lead, because Zerg should always try to be one base more than Protoss, just as a rule of thumb, especially with all that larva you're going to need and whatnot. So we do have these Lings scouting around, poking up here, seeing what's up. PartinG in a very comfortable position here is actually going to wall off to the front with his Cybernetics core. Always a little bit of a riskier move here, because if that Cybernetics core is sniped down for some reason with some early roaches, that could spell some trouble there for PartinG, because he will not be able to make sentries or stalkers if that is lost. So we do have Rhett just droning up, not doing anything too out of the ordinary. Oops, sorry for that camera work. And just has his queen over here. We don't see any creep spread just. Oh, yes, we do. There's the creep tumor there. Deciding to start in the main. Good idea there for Rhett to try to connect all of his bases and just have a very nice defensive platform here, rather than extending his creep forward, which is more of an offensive strategy. But I mean, an observer that's usually carried along with a Protoss army will clean up a lot of those creep tumors. So I really do like that, combining your bases first, so you can defend it with Lings and Roaches, especially if they have speed upgrade, and you'll be very, very well set off with that. We do have PartinG going with a Robo facility here, going to be probably in retaliation of potential Roaches, not that we see any yet, because Rhett doesn't have very much tech right now, so he is pretty much open for a lot of anything really. He could go with a layer into Mutas. He could get a layer into his infestation pit. It could really do anything right about now because he isn't using gas, and he's just getting these geysers now actually. And he can get his geysers down here, yep. So he does have 3 gas geysers being taken there. And he's really in a kind of good versatile position here. If he's attacked right now, he could be in a bit of a bind. But it doesn't look like that because PartinG is just getting his second base fully up and running, almost saturated here. And will now start producing units like these sentries here to kind of defend his base a little bit more. We do have 3 gateways going down in the back of the main for maybe some aggression here. We don't have any probes around here for any proxy pylons, you know, maybe on the high ground or whatnot, which could be some trouble there for Rhett. We do see Rhett deciding to go with a Roach Warren, so we will see Roaches, which is going to be a little bit unfortunate here because we have PartinG already going for the Robotech. And as long as PartinG has some good micro there, he should be in a good position. The sentry keeping this Overlord from scouting too much. These Lings coming in from the front, taking the watchtowers, just giving Rhett map control like he should be because, of course, these Lings are very speedy and they're cheap, so if you lose them, it's not a big deal. So always trying to take the watchtower with those is a good idea. And we have PartinG just sitting back, making a ton of sentries here, which is kind of a good idea. If you have very good sentry micro, of course, like a StarTale PartinG probably does, of course, as a Korean player, put a little couple force fields around your units so that they can't get the surround on them by the Lings, and you're good to go. We do have a Warp Prism in here, so maybe we'll see some Immortal drops. We have 2 Immortals, so we could see some of that. And it looks like LiquidRet is just continuously making Zerglings, just checking out. And it looks like we will have PartinG push out here and is going to have his Warp Prism about to be finished. And there's the Warp Prism. And will he be using that as his proxy pylon? It is actually a pretty good idea there because, of course, early Zerg units cannot hit anything in the air. Queens, of course, can, but do not do that much damage. We just have some nice force fields there by PartinG, taking a couple Roaches out there. Force fields very good against Zerglings and Roaches because Roaches do not have that much range. So, of course, if you can cut them in half, just like that, you'll be set. Some more force fields there, cutting the Roaches out in the back, and he's going to do some tons of damage there. But it looks like Rhett got a pretty good surround there and is going to take out this front line here, but it might not be enough because these Roaches are just getting tons and tons of damage from these Immortals. And some good force fields there, stopping 2 more Roaches to preventing them from going away, and it will look like he will lose that Overlord there, and a lot of Overlords out here that are going to be in some trouble. This Warp Prism being very effective here because it cannot be taken down and you can warp in units whenever he wants. But we do have a proxy pylon there made by that probe, and another great set of force fields taking out these Roaches, and they are not even attacking while they're retreating, and it looks like Rhett did lose quite a bit there. He still has a supply lead, but that is mostly in drones and Zerglings, which aren't that much. Ooh, a nice hit there by Rhett, getting his Lings there before the force fields went down, but it does not look like it will be enough. He's trying to get his Roaches in on the backside, but these Immortals being very cost-effective, and we see PartinG dropping sentries down and preventing them from dying, so very, very nice micro there by PartinG. We see the Crew Tumors getting hit by the Observer, as I said before. It looks like PartinG is going to be going up the ramp to attack, which is very good because the Lings cannot get us around on the ramp. And he does have the Guardian Shield go down, covering almost all of his units. The force field stopping reinforcements there. Nice force field there, stopping the drones from attacking. And it's got that nice choke there. We have the Warp Prism dropping in more units. Rhett trying to get Roaches in from the back to do some damage, but it is not looking too good there for Rhett. And there's the GG. So a great game there by PartinG with some excellent micro, taking the first game off of Rhett of this best of 3 at the Red Bull Battlegrounds. So thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned for part number 2.